All right, best bets for the season opener, Cowboys versus Eagles. You got Joe, you got Jingles, and we got 5 total picks for you guys. Before we get into the action, hit that like button right down there. Hit that subscribe button right down there. A lot of great content to be found here on the Covers YouTube channel. Okay, no more small talk, Jingles. Let's get right into the action. I'm not overthinking this one. I'm going to take the Eagles to cover the spread, coming in at -7.5 here. So I think things could get very, very ugly for the Dallas Cowboys. There's a lot working against them, and I think they could potentially get embarrassed in this game. So first of all, Brian Schottenheimer, first-time head coach, very underwhelming hire. This is a very, very high-pressure situation for him in a standalone game in a very difficult environment versus maybe the best team in the NFL, by the way. And this is a true home field advantage. 10 straight wins at home for Philly. Last time they played Dallas at home, it was December of last season. All the Eagles did was win 41-7 in that game. And you might say, well, the Cowboys didn't have Dak Prescott. Well, the Eagles didn't have Jalen Hurts in that game either. Kenny Pickett started for them. Speaking of Dak, he's returning from a major injury. Is he going to be able to move around like he used to? Is he going to be a little bit rusty? Is there potential that Dak could be washed up? In the 8 games that he played in last season, he wasn't good. The worst quarterback rating of his career. And then the Cowboys defense, my God, 31st in points allowed last season. And that was with Micah Parsons. In case you missed the news, he's no longer on the team. So yeah, just so much working for the Eagles here. I think they're going to be fired up for this one. I like them to win big. I'll take the -7.5. Okay, player prop number 1 for you, Jingles. What do we got?
Let's go. Yes, I am 100% on board with the beatdown. I would love a Philly beatdown. Javonte Williams over 12.5 receiving yards, -105. Starting to see some 13.5s out there. There's probably not a player I lost more money on last year than Javonte Williams in Denver. Now, different situation, RB1 here, but what we do know about Williams is that he can catch a ball. He is a great pass protector. He's great in that situation. And the one thing where he's going to be trusted with is because you got a rookie in Jaden Blue in pass pro, and that's a 195, 196-pound back on versus a Philly defense that could get ugly. So I want Williams to stay in. I want Williams to protect, but I want him to release, I think, 2-3 catches in this game over this number. A great look. And if he is the 2-minute warning guy, this will be an absolute breeze. Got Miles Sanders there as well. So this is a team that you said, Joe, with this coaching, they want to run the ball, but I don't know if they got enough bodies. I mean, I think Javonte Williams is making got a 1-year contract right now, so not a lot of faith in their run game. But yeah, let's go negative game script and pass and get the backs involved.
Okay, first player prop bet of the season for me. Going to go Jalen Hurts over 8.5 carries. Very simple. This is what this man does. He averaged 10 carries per game last season. You know we're going to see a couple tush pushes, maybe even a couple kneel downs at the end, and those count as carries in the NFL. So Hurts running should be a big part of the game plan. He's taking on a Cowboys defense that allowed the most rushing yards per game to quarterbacks last season. For what it's worth, Hurts runs a lot at the start of the season. He's had at least 9 carries in 3 straight season openers, including last season when he had 13. So we're going to go Hurts over 8.5 carries. Okay, Jingles, taking a little bit of a swing with your second player prop. What do you got for us?
Another person who's taken a lot of money out of my pocket over the years, George Pickens, is in a great spot here. He can turn everything around. Contract year for the guy, and this offense is going to work very well for him. If that run game doesn't work well, there's going to be lots of play actions off Brian Schottenheimer's offensive schemes. Straight down, this is a guy that's going to see a lot of single coverage with CeeDee Lamb eating up the other side. There's going to be so many opportunities, so let's go George Pickens in this game. Most receiving yards, +475. That's, I think, my favorite long shot bet. There were some +425s that maybe I want Jaden Blue for a touchdown, but I think in that 400 to 500 range, Pickens. Most yards in this game receiving. You get Dallas down early, have to play from behind. Love that angle, and Pickens, we know, can get this done even with low volume. So let's go. The swing of the day for me, Thursday Night Football, George Pickens. Most receiving yards, +475, Joe.
Okay, let's wrap things up with a little bit of an under-the-radar play from me. Jake Ferguson, we're going to fade this guy. We're going to take the under 35.5 on his receiving yards. So the Eagles, were fantastic last season at taking out opposing tight ends. They allowed the fewest receiving yards to tight ends in all of the NFL last season, and I do expect this to continue with Vic Fangio back at defensive coordinator. If it's not broke, do not fix it. In 2 games versus Philly last season, Ferguson had totals of just 24 and 17 yards. And as Jingles kind of alluded to, a little bit more competition for targets for Dallas pass catchers, with George Pickens in the lineup now. So yeah, Ferguson under 35.5 receiving yards. Okay, so that does it for our best bets for the season opener on Thursday night. I cannot wait. Make sure you do keep it locked here on the Coverage YouTube channel for all of your NFL picks coverage. We're going to have a standalone video for the Friday night game. I love that they do that. The Sunday afternoon games, the Sunday night game, Monday Night Football. It is here. I love the routine of the NFL. Jingles, thank you very much for joining. Best of luck to everybody on Thursday night.